Jeff LaBianco here with Whole Personal Development, and I'm here to present to you the Core Strength Series. This series is made up of the best exercise progressions to better strengthen your core stability so that you can live your life at your highest level of function. So we start off going up on the elbows and then back down onto the stomach. Up on the elbows in order to stretch the low back. We want to get that back extension so that we don't end up hurting our back when we perform these other exercises. Next is a prone press-up progression. Notice how you're pressing up, arms locked out, and hips stay on the ground as the back is fully extended. Now that we're warmed up, let's move on. So we're starting off with the bridge. This targets the back muscles, the hip, the glutes, and the thighs. Notice I'm bringing my butt up, keeping both feet flat on the floor, and this strengthens the overall core musculature. Next, moving on. This is a single leg bridge. So now I'm weight bearing on the left foot, bridging up, keeping my right leg straight. This challenges those muscles even more, and it's a great progression. Next, the single leg press. So if you didn't see, I actually performed a bridge and now I'm pressing back and forth. So the weight bearing on the left, in addition to that leg press, makes it a great advanced exercise. We're going to review the posterior pelvic tilt progressions. Notice how I'm sucking in my gut, pushing the small of my back into the ground. This is going to strengthen the inner core muscles and bring that mobility, stability within the core. That's the first progression. Next, I'm doing a march. So I'm keeping that tilt, pushing the small of my back into the ground, and marching at the same time. It adds an extra component in order to challenge those core muscles even more. Moving on to the third progression, posterior pelvic tilt with leg press. As you notice here, I'm pushing my foot and leg forward and back, bringing my knee to chest, and then straightening the leg all the way out. By doing that, it increases the core strength even more. Now, fourth progression is the double leg press. You want to make sure that you're pushing the small of your back into the ground with this, because if you don't, you're going to add a lot of stress to that back. So this is more advanced. Make sure your core strength is strong enough before doing this. Next one, the posterior pelvic tilt, double straight leg raise. Same thing, we're pushing the small of the back down into the ground as we're moving the legs up and down. It's an advanced exercise. Once you get strong enough, it'll be great to do to increase that core stability even more. We're going to review the crunch progressions. So we start off with the basic crunch. This strengthens the rectus abdominis or six-pack muscles. Notice how my hands are interlocked behind my head and I'm crunching up and down. If you wanted to do an easier version, you would wrap your hands around your chest and go up and down. Moving on to the lateral crunches, these help strengthen the oblique or the side core muscles, as well as the front muscles. And once you do that, you can move on to the third progression, which is a bicycle crunch. So now we're just moving back and forth, knee to elbow, improving the obliques as well as the front stomach musculature. Now it's important to realize by just doing these crunches, you're not going to really strengthen the core as a whole as it should be strengthened. We're going to review the plank progressions. So starting off the plank progression, we're going to do a regular plank, which is a full core workout. If you notice, you're strengthening all the way from your toes to your neck. We go the toes, the legs, the butt muscles, the low back, the mid back, even the arm muscles are working out here. Next, moving on, we can progress to the single leg plank with straight leg raise. Notice how we're now weight bearing on one foot while lifting the other foot up and back. Now we're progressing to the hip abduction, which is really stressing and exercising those side hip muscles, which help a lot while walking or jogging or performing any functional movement. The next progression is the side plank. So we're definitely working more of the oblique muscles in this case and strengthening even the arm muscles and the leg muscles. To make this a little easier, bend both knees and then go up in that side plank position. Now here's the fifth progression, the rotational plank, We're putting a rotational spin on this, so we're hitting all the 3 dimensions of the core, strengthening the hips as well as the core muscle groups and the stomach muscles and the legs and the arms. So like I said, a full body workout. It's great to do, challenging, but once you get there, you're gonna really feel the difference. If you wanted to make this exercise a little easier, do this rotational plank, pivoting off your knees as opposed to your feet. We're going to review the squat progressions. Starting off with a typical squat, it strengthens the hips, lower legs, back, and trunk. Let's slow it down a bit. As you notice, my chest is up and out, my butt's back, knees are bending, feet flat on the ground. Let's look at that again. Notice how when I do this, my back isn't bending forward at all, and that's important to decrease back pain. So let's go to the side squat. It's a lateral progression. It's similar to a side lunge, it's just that we're not moving our leg out as far. Again, chest up and out, feet flat, knees bent. See the other side? Same thing. And my whole trunk is moving with my leg, as you can see. Now the front squat. This is similar to a forward lunge, but not stepping out as far. Again, my chest is up and out, and when I land on my foot, my butt comes back. I'm not bending forward at the back. This is a great exercise to improve all that lower leg strength. Next progression, the back squat. I'm stepping back. You can see how my trunk is bending down a bit more than it would with the other exercises, but that's just because when you take a step back, it pushes your body forward. The next one, the rotational squat, my favorite. This is kind of like opening the gate pattern, it's called. You're rotating your whole body with your trunk, and you're then landing on your foot, and it's strengthening the external rotators of the hip and the 3-dimensional muscles of your glutes and lower legs. I hope you enjoyed this squat progression video and the whole core strength series. Please consider subscribing to my channel so I can get more exposure and get this out to more people to benefit from these exercises.